the 11th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chargers select.
The Chargers select, and this is the first traded pick from the Vikings, right? And if you ask me what were the Chargers going to do had they not traded that 5th pick, who were the player that they were going to select? I would have said 1, Joe Alt. I think I would have said 2, Brock Bowers. Well, guess who's still on the board? It's Brock Bowers. Still there for the Chargers. That is the first of one of huge big wins there for the Chargers there. They get Brock Bowers and move along the draft.
With the 12th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select
quarterback J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. Now, right now we're on 5 quarterbacks taken. That's a counter that we should keep track of. I do feel like the Denver Broncos are almost forced into this pick somehow, if that makes any sense at all. Think about the kind of boost that J.J. McCarthy has been given, all the way to considered really just being right behind in that tier right behind the 3 quarterbacks, May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams. And that came after the season, right? That came all like post combine is when we started to see this rise. I don't know if Sean Payton will be as sold on J.J. McCarthy as this rise has been, but here he might just have to take him because the only other quarterback that's considered in like the draftable in the first round is Bo Nix. And, you know, I think of the two, you got to say maybe I got to get mine now because there won't be any left. Now, can the Broncos do anything else other than select a quarterback right now in the draft to get a quarterback? Because right now I don't think Stidham will be starting. There is a possibility where there is a trade for Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, wow. Messed that up. Tua. We're just going to go Tua. And I think there's a possibility that there's a trade to the Dolphins there. And that's only if Sean Payton likes Tua enough to say, hey, I want to see if I can get him in a system sort of like I had with Drew Brees. Similar type quarterback, often compared to each other. Many say that the Drew Brees archetype got Tua the job. Well, let's see. That might be a possibility for Sean Payton. It might be a better option short term than any of these quarterbacks, but J.J. McCarthy right here makes sense.
With the 13th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select.
That one was late as well. And this is a big pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they sprint this one up here. Cornerback Quinton Mitchell from Toledo. This is the part where we start talking about where these corners go, right? There's 2 of them that are clearly in the top 2. It's Quinton Mitchell. It's Terrion Arnold. And the Las Vegas Raiders have not had a good secondary since I've been alive. I don't know. It probably has not been that long. I can think back to Charles Woodson, so I don't think so. But it has been some time since there has been more than one notable player in that Las Vegas Raiders secondary. I think it's time to go ahead and get one of them. It's either Terrion Arnold, Quinton Mitchell. It's who each team has on number 1 on their board. Terrion Arnold is the last crop fully developed by Nick Saban. And Quinton Mitchell is a small-town guy with a beastly combine. He's just a freak athlete. Is going to be the kind of guy that fits with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think of like Max Crosby as an insane athlete. I think they love that. Even when they've tried in their secondary moves like Melon Fonwu, they've always had special things. John Abrams is a safety that they picked up a few years back. And I love John Abrams, but a monster hitter, just a thudder out of the backfield. Never quite worked out, but I've liked what they try to go for some dynamic playmakers, some dynamic athletes. That's Quinton Mitchell.
With the 14th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select.
And this one fell into their lap as well. Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington, expected to go quite early. In fact, maybe in the top 10, slips just a little bit to pick 14, and then suddenly you're just not so angry anymore if you're Roman Dunze, because it kind of all makes a little bit of sense. Think about the Saints. The last great wide receiver that they had, I think of Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas was a big body receiver. Wasn't the fastest guy in the field, but could do things well. And then I think back to Derek Carr, the Saints quarterback. And I think back to Las Vegas and having Devontae Adams and how great that was for Derek Carr. And then I can see this Rome Odunze matchup. I wanted him with Kirk Cousins because I feel like you can build a rapport with a big, talented receiver like this and make waves early. Well, I think the same goes for Derek Carr and the Saints.
With the 15th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select.
We talked about him already. The other cornerback from Alabama, Terrion Arnold. Now, this is just needed. Once one went, the other was bound to go soon because, like I said, many are going to see these two as very close, like 1A, 1B, but there's a clear 2 from these two. So right now, you're talking about being in the 15th pick. You see one go, 2 picks before you. You're kind of clinching a little bit as New Orleans picks. They've always had a history of picking really good cornerbacks. So you're worried. They pick Roma Dunze. Good for them. That's a very talented player. And now the Indianapolis Colts say, here you go, with a breath of fresh air, a little bit of a relief. And Terrion Arnold, Alabama, is just a solid pick. Like I said, the last and the best corner of the last crop of Nick Saban's. That's a big deal. Now, what else could Indianapolis do here? You could talk about going offensive line, but their offensive line's pretty good here, and they have a real need at cornerback. Picking Terrion Arnold is not a mistake here for the Indianapolis Colts at pick 15.